Audio Jungle.
Tests which are too difficult or too easy. When we have tests which are too difficult or too easy, we tend to produce exams which cannot be valid or reliable. In this tendency, we need to make sure that the exam measures at least 50% of the learning ability of the students. Remember, when we are making exam, we need to prioritize their learning, and the purpose of exam is to measure what they have learned. We are making exams, we should make sure that we are measuring what we are supposed to measure. Okay, so if we are producing exams which are too easy or too difficult, we fail to measure their learning. So we need to address this. How we can address this? It is through pilot testing. Pilot testing gives us an avenue to see if the students, if the exam that we have produced suits the ability of our students, making exam valid. After we have assured that the result of the pilot testing is accurate, we can use it in our classrooms. And that is the first mistakes and how we can answer it.
Trick questions considered to be one of the most forms of assessment. It is particularly believed that it is a kind of test which has a trick questions regarded for the learners that makes them difficult to answer. Okay, so the solution should be the teacher must focus on his objectives regarding a given the test. The second one, the question should be simple and correct.
Another issue is about redundancy of test items, wherein you just repeated the type of test that you are putting in your exam or test. For example, you have 2 multiple choice and 2 identification in your test. It is inefficient because you are just using less type of test instead of using others.
Audio Jungle.
Redundant word is one of the common problems in writing a test item, wherein it is a needless repetition of words. For example, in a multiple choice type of test, all of the choices are started in a word because or and, wherein it is not practical because it is more appropriate if there is no redundancy of the word that are being used in all choices. Another issue is about wrong medium, wherein you are using wrong type of test in measuring what skills or knowledge you are intended to measure to your students. For example, instead of using essay type of test, you are using objective type of test in measuring the writing skills of your students.
The other one is the inability of the test facilitator to control the test takers in a classroom setting or in a specific place. It is very important that we have the control and strategies or methods so that we can avoid this main issue or the biggest issue in having a test or examination, and it is cheating. We have different methods. The first one is to give them different kinds of or sets of test papers so that even though they will try to speak to their classmate or other test takers, they will find that they have different set of tests. Or the second one is the easiest thing to do is to let them sit in a one sit apart kind of sitting arrangement. It is very important that we have to address this kind of concern or issue, because nowadays, even though we have difficult tests and even though we have a good and a better or the best examination, but still, if the students will not practice or avoid cheating, the results will never be reliable, because at the end, their skills is not being measured in a right way.
So for the next one, we are going to talk about inadequate instructions. Inadequate instructions meaning instructions that are not clear. For example, you only gave an instructions that is said, choose the correct answer. But how would the students choose the correct answer? Would they encircle the letter or write it beside the number? That is one example of an inadequate instructions. So another example is you're using your native language in a test for an instruction, but the exam is in a foreign language. So that could be an invalid instructions for the students, can be writing the wrong answers and might be perceiving some mistakes. Oh, you're still there. So one solution is giving clear instructions, giving detailed instructions, and using a particular language for a specific test.
Another issue is pilot testing. So what is pilot testing? Pilot testing is a small scale of trial which few examiners or examinees take in order for them to comment on and for you to know the strengths and weaknesses of your research, study, or test. Its advantages is that it allows us to know the strengths of our exams, and it results us for more reliable results at the end of your study or your test. And the disadvantage of pilot testing is that we are not maximizing the objectives that we set for our test. That's why we are highly recommending to take or to conduct pilot testing for your research or exams or test for you to have reliable results at the end of your test.